Hi children, how are you? I think all are fine. Myself, M. Nagaveni, CRT English, working in KZB Book Raisandram. Your 7th class textbooks are changed. Those textbooks are not available till now. That's why I'm telling about grammar part. Okay children. First we will, in this session, I'm telling about what is sentence, types of sentences, parts of speech, what is praise, and what is subject, and what is object, and how to add a question tag, like that. I will briefly explain about these topics in this session. Okay children, now we will move on to the grammar class. First, I will say something about we make use of sentences when we speak, read, and writing. When we speak, read, or write, we make use of complete sentences. Okay, we are telling about. I think you know what is I am telling about. That is sentence. What is a sentence? A sentence is a group of words which makes sense. What is a sentence? A sentence is a group of words which makes sense. The sentence also had some words. It is arranged in proper order. Okay, while writing a sentence, there must be some rules. First, I will read that one. I will explain that after it. A sentence begins with a capital letter and ends with a full stop. A sentence begins with a capital letter and ends with a full stop. Second point. While writing a sentence, you must use verb in a sentence. You must use verb in a sentence. Next, you must use question mark, exclamation mark at the end, depending on what the sentence is conveying. What is the once again I will repeat. A sentence begins with a capital letter and ends with a full stop, question mark or exclamation mark at the end, depending on what the sentence is conveying. Next, another point, the sentence must be has a verb in it. Okay, children, I read some group of words. You observe it on the screen. First one, to water swim the. Second one, this no print here. Third one, so put it. Fourth one, but he did not. Is it any meaning in a sentence? No, there is no meaning conveying it. This group of words do not make complete sense. This group of words do not make complete sense. They do not begin with a capital letter, nor they do not end with a full stop. They do not begin with a capital letter, nor they do not end with a full stop. So these are not sentences. So these are not sentences. I will show some examples. What is a sentence exactly? For example, Sam loves ice cream. Sam loves ice cream. Second one, the children are playing. Second one, the children are playing. In these sentences, the sentences begin with a capital letter and ends with a full stop. All the sentences are begin with a capital letter and ends with a full stop. In the sentence, first starting letter capital letter. Yes, Sam is name. That's why they are using capital letter. Yes, capital letter, and at the ending they use full stop. Second sentence, first T, that means the, they use T for T capital letter and full stop in the end of the sentence. Next, another example. Ron is playing football. Ron is playing football. The sun rises in the east. The sun rises in the east. In these sentences also, they use capital letter in the beginning and full stop in the end of the sentence. Okay, children, I will show some more sentences on the screen. You observe that. First, I will read. I won a quiz contest. Second one, why are you running so fast? Third one, hooray, we won the match. Fourth one, shut the door. In these four sentences, they use capital letter in the beginning of the sentence and use full stop, question mark, exclamation mark in the end of the sentence, and they use verb in a sentence. That is, in first sentence, one is verb form. In second sentence, running is verb form. And third sentence, one is the verb form. Next, I will start the another topic. I think all of you understand very well. Once again, I will repeat what is a sentence. A sentence is a group of words which make sense. A sentence is a group of words which make sense. Okay, children, I will give you task on this topic in the end of the session. You wrote it and show it to your teacher. Okay, children, our next topic is what is subject and what is predicate. What is subject? In a sentence, subject plus predicate is a complete sentence. We use subject and predicate in a sentence. What is subject? Subject is a naming part and predicate is a telling part. Subject is a naming part and predicate is a telling part. Once again, I will tell the definition. Subject means naming part. That is, it tells who or what the sentence is about. What is the subject? Subject means it tells who or what the sentence is about. It tells who or what the sentence is about. What is the predicate means? Predicate means it tells what someone or something is or does. Predicate means it tells what someone or something is or does. I think you understand well. I will show some examples on the screen. You observe that. First one. I saw a ball on the beach. I saw a ball on the beach. In this sentence, what is subject? Okay, tell me, children. The subject is I. The subject is I. And the predicate is saw a ball on the beach. Predicate is saw a ball on the beach. I will ask one question. In this, we can ask, who saw the ball on the beach? We will say I. That's why I is subject and saw a ball on the beach is predicate. It is telling about the subject. Next sentence. The elephant lives in the forest. The elephant lives in the forest. Here subject is, tell me children, the elephant. Very good. The elephant is the subject. Lives in the forest is the predicate. We will ask, who lives in the forest? We can easily say the elephant. So that's why subject means it tells who or what the sentence is about. Okay, children. Next, I will move on to another sentence. The girl has a hat. The girl has a hat. Here, the girl is subject, has a hat is predicate. Next example. The children are swimming in the pool. The children are swimming in the pool. In this sentence, the children is subject, are swimming in the pool is predicate. Once again, I will explain that. Subject means the subject has a noun or a pronoun. The subject has a noun or pronoun, and predicate has a verb. Predicate has a verb. Subject, who or what the sentence is about. What the subject tells? The subject tells who or what the sentence is about. And what is the predicate? Predicate means what the subject is or does. Predicate is what the subject is or does. I already told you subject is the naming part and predicate is the telling part. Subject is the naming part and predicate is the telling part. I think all of you understand about what is subject and what is predicate. I will give one task in the end of the session about what is subject and what is predicate. You underline what is subject and what is predicate in a sentence. The sentence must be has a subject and predicate. Okay, children. Next topic, we will move on to next topic. Our next topic is praise. What is praise? A phrase is a group of related words within a sentence. A phrase is a group of related words within a sentence. I will show you some images on the screen. You observe that. A phrase can be found at the beginning, middle, or end of a sentence. A phrase will be in the beginning of the sentence or middle of the sentence or end of a sentence. Next, a phrase may not contain a subject or verb or both. A phrase may not contain a subject or predicate or both. In a phrase, there is no subject and no verb. Okay. Next, a phrase may not contain a subject or verb or both. I already told you. Thus, a phrase may have a meaning. The phrase also have meaning, but it does not convey a complete thought. It does not convey a complete thought. Phrase also have some meaning, but it doesn't give complete meaning. A sentence contain more than one phrase. A sentence contain more than one phrase. Okay, children. Once again, I will repeat what is phrase. A phrase is a group of related words within a sentence. A phrase is a group of words that is related within a sentence. Next, a phrase can be found in the beginning, middle, or end of a sentence. A phrase may not contain a subject or verb or both. Thus, a phrase may have a meaning, but it does not convey a complete thought. Next, a sentence may contain more than one phrase. I will give some task about this one in the end of the session. Next, we will move on to the another topic. Sorry, children, I forgot to show one example for you. I will show it on the screen. You observe. A tall girl was standing near me. A tall girl was standing near me. In this sentence, there are three phrases. In this sentence, there are three phrases. First one is a tall girl. Second one is was standing. And third one is near me. Children, we will move on to the other topic, that is types of sentences. Is the topic? Types of sentences. While communicating, we express statements, questions, exclamations, and commands or requests. Therefore, we categorize these sentences into the following four types. Once again, I will repeat what is types of sentences. While communicating, we express statements, questions, exclamations, and commands or requests. Therefore, we categorize these sentences into the following four types. Those are, I will display on the screen. You see on the screen. Based on their purpose, we classify the sentences in the following four types. Based on their purpose, we classify the sentences in the following four types. That is, first one, assertive sentences. Second one, interrogative sentences. Third one, exclamatory sentences. Fourth one, imperative sentences. First one is assertive sentences. Second one is interrogative sentences. Third one is exclamatory sentences. And the fourth one is imperative sentences. I will explain one by one. What the first one? What is assertive sentences? For assertive sentences, we can call as declarative sentences also. Assertive sentences are declarative sentences. What is assertive sentence? A sentence that conveys or states a fact is an assertive or declarative sentences. What is the meaning of assertive or declarative sentence? A sentence that conveys or states a fact is an assertive or declarative sentences. We punctuate these sentences with a period or full stop at the end. Okay, we punctuate these sentences with a period or full stop at the end. For example, the soup was very hot. Second one, streets look dirty if we litter them. Streets looks dirty if we litter them. Third one, Bharatanatyam is an Indian dance. Bharatanatyam is an Indian dance. Okay, what is assertive or declarative sentence? A sentence that conveys or states a fact is an assertive or declarative sentence. I will show some more examples on the screen. You observe that, children. Reading helps gain knowledge. Reading helps gain knowledge. Second one, a poisonous snake bite the boy. A poisonous snake bite the boy. Third one, this summer vacation my family is traveling to America. This summer vacation my family is traveling to America. These are assertive or declarative sentences. They end with a full stop. Okay, children, they end with a full stop. I think you understand well what is assertive sentence. As a assertive, sorry, a sentence that conveys or states a fact is an assertive or declarative sentence. Okay, children, we will move on to the next sentence type. B. That means the second one is interrogative sentence. Second one is interrogative sentence. What is the meaning of interrogative sentence? Interrogative sentence means a sentence that asks a question or requests information is called an interrogative sentence. A sentence that asks a question or requests information is called an interrogative sentence. A sentence that asks a question or requests information is called an interrogative sentence. It always ends with a question mark. The interrogative sentence ends with a question mark. Okay, children, once again I will repeat the definition of interrogative sentence. A sentence that asks a question or requests information is called an interrogative sentence. I will show some in this interrogative sentence. There are 4 types. In interrogative sentence, there are 4 types. That is, first one is WH questions. I will explain one by one. First, you write down first type of interrogative sentence is WH question. For your convenience, I will show it on the screen. WH questions. These are direct questions that begins with a WH word. These are direct questions that begins with a WH word. That is how, what, when, where, why, which, who, whose, whom. Which words? How, what, when, where, why, which, who, whose, and whom. These are direct questions that begins with a WH word. That is how, what, when, where, why, which, who, whose, and whom. For example, how many eggs did the hen lay? How many eggs did the hen lay? Next, second one. Why was the child crying? Second one. Why was the child crying? Third one. Where is my book? Third one. Where is my book? These sentences are end with question mark and start with WH word. Start with WH word and ends with question mark. Are you observe, children? Okay, I think you observe. Okay. Next, in interrogative sentence, second one is yes or no questions. Second one is yes or no questions. There are questions for which the answer could be either yes or no. These are questions for which the answer could be either yes or no. For example, in this one, we say for answer yes or no. While you ask any question, you say only yes or no. First question. Did it rain yesterday in your town? Did it rain yesterday in your town? If yes, we will say yes. If there is no, we say no. Second one. Is the teacher going to give us a test today? Is the teacher going to give us a test today? If the teacher is giving a test to you, we say yes. If there is no, we say no. Third one. Will you play with me? Will you play with me? If they willing, they play. We say yes. Otherwise, we say no. In the previous topic, WH questions, we must say answer for these questions. I will once again repeat. How many eggs did the hen lay? We must and should say the hen lay 5 eggs, 6 eggs, or 7 eggs, like that. Next, why was the child crying? We must say reason why was the child crying. Because he didn't have an ice cream, because her mother bite him, like this. Next, where is my book? Where is my book? We say answer for this. My book is on the table, like that. Okay. I think you understand very well. First one is WH questions. Second one is yes or no questions. And the third one is choice questions. Third one is choice questions. There are questions that contain two or more alternatives or choices. What is the definition for choice questions? These are questions that contain two or more alternatives or choice. These are questions that contain two or more alternatives or choices. For example, do you prefer tea or coffee? Do you prefer tea or coffee? We must say, I prefer tea or coffee. We must say we have choice. That is tea or coffee. Next, I should call you Mr. Brown or Sam. Should I call you Mr. Brown or Sam? Ante, that means, shall I call Mr. Brown or Sam? Here is here also they have choice. Why? Because they have to call Mr. Brown or Mr. Sam. Okay, children. What is the meaning of choice question? There are questions that contain two or more alternatives or choices. Next, fourth one, question tags. Fourth one is question tags. These are questions where a tag question word is added at the end of a statement. What is the question tag means? These are questions where a tag question word is added at the end of a statement. For a statement, they add question tag. Okay, you observe that examples, children. Rita likes chocolates. Rita likes chocolates. We can frame the question tag like this. Doesn't she? Doesn't she is the question tag. Here we ask question tag like this, doesn't she? Second one, the dog was barking at night. The dog was barking at night. Wasn't it? Here they are using question tag like wasn't it. Next type. Yesterday they weren't at home. Yesterday they weren't at home. We use question tag like this. Were they? Were they? Like this, we can add question tag. I will explain how to add a question tag in this session. I will give full explanation in there. Okay, you once again observe. There are questions where a tag question word is added at the end of a statement is called question tag. Okay, children, we will move on to the another types of sentences. That is third one, exclamatory sentences. Third one is exclamatory sentences. Exclamatory sentences means a sentence that conveys an excitement or emotion of the speaker is an exclamatory sentence. A sentence that conveys an excitement or emotion of the speaker is an exclamatory sentence. In these sentences, we must use exclamation mark in the sentence. We use an exclamation mark at the end of the sentence. Children, what is the exclamatory sentence means? A sentence that conveys an excitement. Here, they conveys excitement or their emotion of the speaker. Speaker conveys their excitement and emotion in these sentences. These sentences are called as exclamatory sentences. I will show examples on the screen. You observe that, children. What a pleasant surprise! What a pleasant surprise! Here they using exclamation mark in the end of the sentence. They are in surprise. That's why they are using exclamation mark. Second one, hooray! We won the match. Hooray! We won the match. Next one, how clever you are. Third one is how clever you are. Here they give one note for you. If a sentence uses an interjection, we put the exclamation mark after it. Children, if a sentence uses an interjection, we put the exclamation mark after it, followed by a declarative sentence. Followed by a declarative sentence. I think you understand very well about exclamatory sentence. What is the meaning of exclamatory sentence? A sentence that conveys an excitement or emotion of the speaker is an exclamatory sentence. Okay, children. Next, fourth type of sentences is imperative sentences. Fourth type of sentences are imperative sentences. What is the meaning of imperative sentences? Imperative sentence means a sentence that gives an order, command, request, suggestion, proposal, or instruction is an imperative sentence. A sentence that gives an order, command, request, suggestion, proposal, or instruction is an imperative sentence. An imperative sentence begins with a verb and ends with a period or full stop. An imperative sentence begins with a verb and ends with a period or full stop. Example, children. Take a step forward. It is an order. Take a step forward. It is an order. Let's go for a walk. Let's go for a walk is a suggestion. Next, please get me a glass of water. Please, here we can easily understand. We use please. It's a request. Next, don't go too close to the fire. Don't go too close to the fire. It is an instruction. It is an instruction. Okay, children. Imperative sentence. What is the meaning of imperative sentence? A sentence that gives an order, command, request, suggestion, proposal, or instruction is an imperative sentence. In imperative sentence, the imperative sentence begins with a verb and ends with a period or full stop. I will show the tree diagram of four kinds of sentences. You observe it, children. I will display on the screen. First one is declarative sentence. Second one is imperative sentence. Third one is interrogative sentence. Fourth one is exclamatory sentence. Declarative sentence means telling sentence. Imperative sentence means command or wish. Interrogative sentence means asking question. Exclamatory sentence means strong feelings. They give examples also for those one. First one is I won a quiz contest is a declarative sentence or assertive sentence. Second one, imperative sentence example, shut the door. It's an order. That's why command they are using command. Next, where are you going? This is the example for interrogative question. Where are you going is the example of interrogative question. Next, wow, what a beautiful flower. It is the example for exclamatory sentences. I think you are all are understand very well the types of sentences. I will give task on this topic at the end of the session. Okay, children, we will move on to the another topic. Okay, children, I already told you in this for today's topic. I will also explain what is question tag, how to add a question tag. Question tag means sometimes people finish what they are saying with a short question. Sometimes people finish what they are saying with a short question is called question tag. Why do they do this? Why do they ask like that? Because they want to know if the person they are speaking to agree with them. Because they want to know if the person they are speaking to agree with them. This short questions is called a question tag. This short questions is called a question tag. Once again, I will repeat it. Sometimes people finish what they are saying with a short question. Why do they do this? Because they want to know if the person they are speaking to agree with them. This short question is called a question tag. Okay, children, you observe some sentences on the screen. Sam is older than you, isn't he? Sam is older than you. I will explain it about it. Okay, children. First, you read the observe the sentences. Rita has got a dog, hasn't she? Rita has got a dog, hasn't she? Next, Anna and I can go by train, can't we? Anna and I can go by train, can't we? Next, fourth one. Peter and David should leave now. Peter and David should leave now, shouldn't they? Shouldn't they? Okay, children, you get confused how to use question tag in a sentence. You need not bother about that. I will explain that. Okay, how to make a question tag? First one, use a helping verb and the subject of the sentence to make the question tag. We want to use helping verb and the subject of the sentence to make a question tag. Okay, children, you see the examples. Tom is older than you. Tom is older than you, isn't he? Sally has got a dog, hasn't she? Anna and I can go by train, can't we? Here, okay, they give one note for you. Subject has been replaced by a pronoun in the question tag. While writing a question tag, the subject has been replaced by a pronoun. How to use pronoun? Tom, here, in the first sentence, Tom is gent character, that is he. That's why in the first sentence, they use he. Okay, children? In the question tag, we must use helping verb in the beginning of the question tag. While framing a question tag, you must use helping verb at the beginning. At the ending, we use subject. That subject that is replaced by a pronoun. Okay, you must use pronoun at the end of the question tag. While writing a question tag, you must use you use helping verb in the beginning and pronoun at the ending of the question tag. While framing a question tag, you must know some other rule. That is, if the main part of the sentence is negative, if the main part of the sentence is negative, the question tag is positive. If the main part of the sentence is negative, the question tag is positive. If the main part of the sentence is positive, the question tag is negative. That is, if the statement is positive, the question tag will be negative. If the statement is negative, the question tag will be positive. Okay, children. Next, another rule. Okay, I will imply. Yes, I will show it on the screen once again. The examples. Tom is older than you. In this, is helping verb. Tom is subject. That subject. Here, the subject replaced as pronoun. Okay, is the sentence is positive or negative? The sentence is positive. So we want to use negative in the question tag. That is not in the question tag. What is the helping verb in this sentence? Is the helping verb in the sentence. That's why we are using is in the beginning of the question tag. Is, we wrote is. But the statement is positive. That's why we are using not in the question tag. Isn't. What is the subject? Tom. Tom is the subject. Tom is gent cat. That is he. He. So we use the pronoun he at the end of the question tag. Next. Next. Another example you have. I have shown it on the screen. First one. These questions aren't very difficult. These questions aren't very difficult. Is the sentence is positive or negative? The sentence or that statement is negative statement. So we don't use negative in the question tag. What is the helping verb in the sentence? Or is the helping verb in the sentence. Next, we don't use not in the question tag. These questions they gave wrongly in the sentence. This question doesn't they, so aren't they? They we want to use aren't they. Next, another example. You haven't read this book. You haven't read this book. Here it is also a negative type of statement. We use positive tag in the question tag. Okay, what is the helping verb in the statement? Have is the helping verb in the statement. So we use have in the beginning of the question tag. There is, we don't use not because it is already negative statement. Have. What is the subject here? Subject is you. So we wrote you in the end of the question tag. Okay, like this we can easily wrote the question tag. We can easily add the question tag for a statement. They give some more examples. I will read it. Peter isn't as tall as I am. Question tag is he. Fourth one. She isn't eight yet. Question tag is she. There aren't many clouds in the sky. Question tag is are they. These are all negative statements. That's why we are using positive question tag. Next, the last instruction. If the main part of the sentence has I am in it, we use aren't I in the question tag. If the main part of the sentence has I am in it, we use aren't I in the question tag. For example, I am your best friend. Here we are using aren't I. We are not using am and I. We don't use am in the question tag. We use only are in the question tag. Instead of am, we use are in the question tag. Next, I am taller than Sumit. I am taller than Sumit. Here also we use aren't I in the question tag. I think children, you understand well about what is a question tag and how to make a question tag. I am explaining briefly because of short time. Okay, children. Once again, I will tell what is question tag. Sometimes people finish what they are saying with a short question. Why do they do this? Because they want to know if the person they are speaking to agree with them. This short questions is called a question tag. Okay, children. Next, we will move on to the another topic. Children, our next topic is parts of speech. What is parts of speech? Parts of speech means all words in English language belongs to a word class called the parts of speech. All the words in English language belongs to a word class called the parts of speech. There are 8 main parts of speech in English language. There are 8 main parts of speech in English language. Those are first one noun, second one verbs, third one adjective, fourth one adverbs, fifth one pronouns, sixth one prepositions, seventh one conjunction, and eighth one interjections. In this session, I will explain these parts of speech in briefly. The first one is noun. What is the meaning of noun? Noun is the part of speech that names a person, place, animal, or thing. Noun is the part of speech that names a person, place, animal, or thing. For example, he is a boy. Dog is an animal. There is a red fort. Here, boy, dog, red fort is nouns. Red fort are nouns. Okay, we will move on to the next part of speech, that is verb. What is verb? Verb is the part of speech that names action. Verb is a part of speech that names an action. For example, Ricky walked to school. Ricky walked to school. Here walked is a verb. Second one, the baby is crying. The baby is crying. Here crying is a verb. Crying is a verb. Next part of speech, adjective. What is the meaning of adjective? Adjective is a part of speech that describes the quality of a person, place, animal, or thing. Adjective is a part of speech that describes the quality of a person, place, animal, or a thing. For example, the green parrot is flying. Here, green is adjective. Green is adjective. Next, this is a big hall. This is a big hall. In this sentence, big is an adjective. Big is an adjective. It is describe the quality of the hall. Okay. Next, it is a round ball. It is a round ball. Here, round is an adjective. Round is an adjective. Next, once again, I will repeat what is adjective. Adjective is the part of speech that describes the quality of a person, place, animal, or thing. Next, what is verb? Verb is the part of speech that names action. Verb is a part of speech that names an action. Next, what is the meaning of noun? Noun is a part of speech that names a person, place, animal or thing. We completed 3 parts of speech. Next, we will move on to the another part of speech, that is adverb. What is the meaning of adverb? Adverb is the part of speech that adds more information about a verb or an adjective. Adverb is a part of speech that adds more information about a verb or an adjective. Here give one example for you. I give one example for you. My dog eats slowly. My dog eats slowly. How does the dog eats? The dog eats slowly. Here slowly is adverb. Slowly is adverb. Next, when he is very hungry, he eats quickly. When he is very hungry, he eats quickly. Here, very and quickly also adverbs. Very and quickly also adverbs. Once again, I will repeat the definition of adverb. Adverb is the part of speech that adds more information about a verb or an adjective. Next part of speech, pronoun. Pronoun is the part of speech that replace a noun. Pronoun is the part of speech that replace a noun. For example, Nikki is Indian. She is beautiful. Nikki is Indian. She is beautiful. Ramu is a tall boy. He is very strong. Here he is pronoun. In the first sentence, she is pronoun. Next, once again, I will tell the definition of pronoun. Pronoun is the part of speech that replaces a noun. Next part of speech, preposition. What is the meaning of preposition? Preposition is the part of speech that shows location, position, time or direction. Preposition is the part of speech that shows location, position, time or direction. For example, we went to school on Monday. We went to school on Monday. Here to and on also prepositions. To refer to location and on refers to time. To refers to location and on refers to time. Next example. The train is passing through the train is passing through the tunnel. Tunnel here, through is the preposition. Here through refers to a direction. Through refers to a direction. Once again I will give the explanation of preposition. Preposition is the part of speech that shows location, position, time or direction. Next part of speech, that is seventh one, conjunction. Conjunction is the part of speech that joins together groups of words or sentences. Conjunction is the part of speech that joins together groups of words or sentences. For example, I like cats and dogs. Here and is the conjunction. Here and is the conjunction. It is joins the words together. Next, the sky is cloudy. The sky is cloudy, but it is not raining. Here, but is conjunction. Here, but is conjunction. Next, once again, I will repeat the definition of conjunction. Conjunction is a part of speech that joins together groups of words or sentences. Next, last parts of speech, that is interjection. What is the meaning of interjection? Interjection is the part of speech that shows emotion, surprise or emphasis. Interjection is the part of speech that shows emotion, surprise or emphasis. For example, ouch, that hurts. Here, ouch is the interjection. Next, second example. Hi, how are you? Here, hi is the interjection. Once again, I will repeat the meaning of interjection, definition of interjection. Interjection is the part of speech that shows emotion, surprise, or emphasis. Okay, children, I told the parts of speech in briefly. Next time we will discuss about this topic. Okay, children. Once again, how many parts of speech in English language? Okay, very good. There are 8 parts of speech in English language. What are they? They are noun, pronoun, verb, adverb, preposition, conjunction and interjection. Adjective, sorry, I forgot adjective. Adjective. There are 8 parts of speech in English language. Okay, children, I already explained what is verb in parts of speech briefly. Now I will tell some more information about what is verb. Okay, children, a complete sentence is made up of a subject and a predicate. A complete sentence is made up of a subject and a predicate. A complete sentence is made up of a subject and a predicate. That means the main word in a predicate is a verb. The main word in a predicate is a verb. In predicate, the main word is verb. Next, verb perform different functions. Verb performs different functions in a sentence. Verb perform different functions. Those are show the action of the subject. First one is show the action of the subject. Second one, link the subject to the noun. Link the subject to the noun or adjective in the predicate. Link the subject to the noun or adjective in the predicate. Third one, work as helping verbs with the main verb. Work as the helping verb in the main verbs. First one is action word. Action words are action verbs tell what the subject of a sentence does. In these action verbs, there are 2 types. First one is physical and second one is mental. First one, physical. Tell us about an action that can be seen. That is, we can see the action. That is, cry, for example, cry and slap. Second one, mental action verbs. That is, tell us about an action that cannot be seen. We cannot see this one. For example, forget, think. These are also mental verbs, mental action verbs. Next, second type, linking verbs. Linking verbs also called being verbs do not show action. Linking verbs also called being verbs do not show action. Instead, they link or join the subject to a word or word to the predicate. Instead, they link or join the subject to a word or word in the predicate. That is, for example, linking verbs tell us what the subject is or is like. Linking verb tell us what the subject is or is like. Okay, I will show one example for linking verbs. She is a girl. She is a girl. She seems happy. Is and seems are also linking verbs. Next, common linking verbs are divided into 2 forms. That is, to be form and to have form. In to be form, is, am, are, was, were, shall be, will be, being, been, be are to be forms. To have forms, have, has, had are to have forms. These are linking verbs. Other linking verbs, look, seem, feel, taste, appear, become, grow, prove, turn, etc. are linking verbs. They look like action verbs. They look like action verbs but are mostly used as linking verbs. They look like action verbs but they are mostly used for linking verbs. Next, other linking verbs. To check the functions of such a verb in a sentence, interchange it with any to be verb. To check the functions of such a verb in a sentence, interchange it with any to be verb. In the meaning stays the same, then it is a linking verb. If the meaning stays the same, then it is a linking verb. Next, for example, the perfume smelled divine. The perfume smelled divine. Smelled here, smelled, linking verb. Next, linking verbs are being verbs function as helping verbs in some sentences. Linking verbs and being verbs function as helping verbs in some sentences. Here I will show one example on the screen. Ram is writing a letter. Ram is writing a letter. Here is helping verb. That is linking verb. Writing is main verb. Writing is main verb. Is helping verb. That is linking verb. And writing is main verb. Okay, children. I think you understanding. Next, I will move on to another one. That is in verbs we most probably use modal verbs also. Modal verbs also function as helping verbs. Modal verbs also function as helping verbs. Those are can, could, may, might, will, would, shall, should. What are the modal verbs? Can, could, may, might, will, would, shall, and should. Common helping verbs. Generally, I gave information about common helping verbs on the screen. Those are common helping verbs. Is, am, are, was, were, shall be, will be, being, been, have, has, had, do, does, did, can, could, will, would, may, might, ought to, shall, should. These are common helping verbs. Those are common helping verbs. Okay. The forms of the to do verbs do, does, doing, did, done function as main verbs are helping verbs mostly in presence and negative sentences. The forms of the to do verbs, that is do, does, doing, did, done function as main verbs are helping verbs mostly in presence and negative sentences. A helping verb comes before the main verb. A helping verb comes before the main verb. That is, a helping verb comes before the main verb. For example, a verb phrase may consist of more than one helping verb. May consist of more than one helping verb. May have a pronoun or an adverb. May have a pronoun or an adverb between the helping and main verbs. May have a pronoun or an adverb between the helping and main verbs. For example, does she want something? Does she want something? Here, helping verb does, main verb is want. Okay, children. I think all are understand well. What is the meaning of verb? Where we use verb, we can use verb in predicate part. The main word in predicate is a verb. Verb performs different functions. Verb performs different functions. Okay, children. I will give you one task on this topic in the end of the session. Okay, children. I will stop my topics here now. I will show you some work on the screen, that is home task. That is assignment also. You do the assignments while seeing the class or after the class, and send it through your WhatsApp group, or you note down the main points, then send it to your teacher or show it to your teacher while you go to school. Okay, children, I will show the assignment on screen. You wrote it. Okay, ma. Okay, children, I think all are wrote your assignments on your notebook. Okay, children, thanks for giving this opportunity to me to Samagra Shiksha Abhiyan Anantapuram.